session 2 of God with us. God is always with us. Yet there are times when we just feel absolutely dry. It's like we're in a desert. We're wandering around. We seem to be going nowhere. And we may be wondering, well, where is God? These times can often come after we've had a mountaintop experience, that is, a real high. Jesus had this. At his baptism, he had the Spirit descend on him, and the voice of God he heard saying, "This is my Son whom I love." But then straight away he's led out into the desert where he was tested for 40 days. There's a story in 1 Kings 19 of the prophet Elijah. Now Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal and say, whose God is real? So up on top of Mount Carmel, he said to them, build an altar, sacrifice an animal on it, and then call on your God to bring down the fire to consume it. And so the prophets of Baal did exactly that. And they called and they called and they danced and they got into a frenzy. They were even cutting themselves. Nothing happened. All day, nothing happened. Finally, Elijah said, okay, let's rebuild the altar, because they'd already destroyed it with all their carryings on. Rebuild the altar, sacrifice an animal, put it on it. And then he got men to pour buckets of water all over the altar so that it was absolutely soaked. The wood was soaked and there was water lying in trench around the altar. And then at the time of the evening sacrifice, he called on God, who sent down fire, which not only burnt up the animal, but burnt up the wood, burnt up the stones, and burnt up all the water, dried it up, that was in the trenches below. This was a tremendous victory that he had won. But then he heard that Queen Jezebel was really angry because she worshipped Baal and she was out to kill him. And so he ran. And he was hiding in the wilderness. God didn't reprimand him. God provided him with food and said, come on, get up. You need this. So he went to Mount Horeb, and he was in a cave in Mount Horeb when he heard God say, what are you doing here? And that's where Elijah had a real pity party. Look, I've been zealous for you all these years, and I'm the only one left now. Everyone else has sinned and they're all following the prophets of Baal. I'm the only one left. He's feeling very sorry for himself. But God said to him, go out, stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. So he did that. He went out and there was a huge wind that blew rocks around, and he thought, this is God. But no. Then there was an earthquake. This must be God. No. Then there was mighty fire. This must be God. No. And then just a gentle whisper. Gentle whisper told him what he was to do. So here's Elijah in a desperate mood of despair, expecting God to show up in some dramatic way, and all he gets is a whisper. But that is so important for us to recognise. If we want to whisper to someone, we have to be right beside them, or they'll never hear us. This was the lesson for Elijah, but it's also a lesson for us. We may feel we're in a desert, we may wonder where God is, but the fact is he is so close to us that he can just whisper in our ear.
In your shelter, will you shade me with your wings? When the heat of day consumes me, let me drink from hidden streams. Drink from hidden streams. Will you lift my heavy burdens? Will you pave my path with peace? When the road is steep and stony, let me bathe in hidden streams. Bathe in hidden streams. When the joy of morning carries, when the waves of darkness roll, will you shine your light of faithfulness, giving courage to my soul, courage to my soul? Will you